Hi everyone. For this week's math activity, we're focusing on measurement and we're going to use non-standard units of measurement to measure the length of something. So what does that mean? It means rather than using something like a ruler or a meter stick, which has standard units such as centimeters, inches, these are familiar units of measurement that we use worldwide. We're going to be using objects that are around us to measure another object. And that might sound strange, but it's actually very handy. So sometimes when we're out and about and we want to measure something, we might not have a ruler or a measuring tape in our pockets. So instead, we might pick up an object that's nearby to quickly measure the length of something in order to know if that object fits in a certain location, for instance. So for this activity, we're going to find an object in your house or from outside that you think is long. Then you're going to sketch or add a picture of it in this box. So let's say you wanted to use your television for this activity and we wanted to measure the length of this. So this is our long object. Or maybe you wanted to use something even bigger. So maybe your sofa. Or if you want to go outside and you have, let's say, a trampoline, very long. Or if you wanted to challenge yourself to do the length of your fence, that could be an idea. So if you've got other objects that are long, go ahead and plug them in into that box. Next, you want to find an object in your house or from outside that you think is short. Um, it should be shorter than the object that we're measuring, which is the object that we had before. So again, sketch or add this picture of this in this box. So maybe you could choose a pencil or maybe a little twig that's fallen off of a tree or something that's very handy, your hand. So actually, I've used my hand to measure things when I'm out shopping and I wanted to know the length of something that I'm purchasing. That's always come in handy because I've always got my hand on me. So I'd measure from the base of my hand, so where the palm meets my wrist, all the way, so right here, all the way up to the tip of my longest finger, which is my middle finger there. And that could be my reference there. So the next part is to figure out how many of those short items you think you will need to match the length of that long item. So this is where we go into estimating. Let's estimate a number that's too high, then estimate a number that's too low. Then we're going to complete it with a prediction sentence. So figure out the objects that you want to use. So for my activity, let's say that I chose to use my television as my long item, the item that I'm measuring, and my hand as my short item, my reference, the thing that I'll be using to measure that television. So if I was to do this, I would maybe want to have my hand going lengthwise to compare to the television. Well, how many of these hands do I think will fit across the length of my television? I have to start with a number that's too high. I don't think I would need 100. So 100 would be too high. Now, what's a number that's too low? Well, I definitely think I need more than one. Let's be more realistic. Maybe I'll say two. So too low of a number was two hands. Too high of a number is 100 hands. Now I have to make a prediction sentence. Okay, well, I know that my number is between 2 and 100. What's a realistic number? If I'm looking at my hand and I'm looking at some television and I'm making a prediction, I'm not actually testing it out, I'm not measuring it. Let's say I make a prediction of 10. So if I think 10 of my hands would fit, I would write that number in. Okay. Now I have to actually figure out if my prediction was correct. So what I would have is my television out there in front of me, and I would take my hand and I'd need to start on one end and work my way through to the other end and count how many of my hands fits the length across this television. So I would start way over here at 1. And then I'm going to remember just about here is where I stopped. So I would maybe leave a marker there or maybe put a finger there or have someone help me to remember that was my last point. And then I would go 2. And then I remember that this is my next point, 3. My next point, 4, and just about here, 5. So it took just about 5 hands to fit across this television. So that's where I would plug in my number here. So was my prediction correct? Well, let's go back. I predicted 10 of the short items, my hands, would match the length of the long item, the TV. But in actuality, it was 5. So I was not correct. But that's okay. Don't go back and change your prediction. It's okay if it's wrong. It was a prediction. Now, if you want to do this again with other items, please feel free, but just hand in one of your activities of measurement using length with non-standard units. All right, I hope you had fun with this. Have a great week. Bye.